So you just started working out and decided you want to build muscle? Maybe you've seen a certain physique that inspired you to start your journey. In this video, I'll be dropping honest advice about building muscle as a natural lifter. Starting a fitness journey, whether you're overweight or skinny and trying to bulk up, can be very exciting because you have this image of how you want to look in your mind. Your motivation to get to that goal is higher than it's ever been, and there's absolutely nothing that can stop you. Being a natural lifter is a really rewarding experience, especially in the long term. One of the most important things I believe we should establish in the beginning is our expectations. I know many of us have all seen a physique that has inspired us at some point in time. We might look at them and say, I want to look like that. When it comes to wanting to look like someone, I don't think it's a bad thing since we're all motivated in different ways. But a better approach would be trying to become the best version of yourself. There should be something deeper that drives you, as this isn't something that happens overnight. This is a lifestyle change you'll have to commit to for the long term. With that being said, our expectations need to be realistic. This isn't to say that you can't build an impressive physique in a couple of years. Through dedication and consistency, you definitely can. The most rewarding part is that the results you get are reflected from the work you put in. At the same time, just don't expect to gain like 50 pounds of muscle in a year. If you're looking at the Mr. Olympia and saying to yourself, I'll be there one day, then that's definitely not realistic. There's a lot of factors that come into play when trying to figure out how much muscle you can gain over a certain period of time. There's genetics, which play a huge role, your current lifestyle, which includes your diet, amount of stress in your life, as well as many other things. If you're able to optimize these things and remain consistent, then you can definitely achieve an amazing physique. I really just like emphasizing the importance of having realistic expectations. Now this next one is probably obvious, but proper training is necessary to gain that muscle you want. If you're a beginner, your body's going to be unfamiliar with this new stimulus, which is a good thing. Also, if you've been working out and not seeing much progress, then more than likely your training hasn't been optimal. So you want to focus on this. Keep in mind that it's the first 5 years of training where you'll see the most amount of gains. You want to do your best to take advantage of it. You'll often hear people referring to it as newbie gains. Your body's in that stage where it'll build muscle at its fastest rate. After that, the amount of muscle you'll put on will slow down quite a bit. This is why training properly in the beginning is so important. You want to get on a solid training program that targets each muscle group twice a week. Focus on doing compound exercises as they build the most muscle. Compound exercises offer the most bang because they involve working multiple muscle groups at a time. Isolation exercises are good once you build up your foundation. You can still do them, but your primary focus should be your compound lifts. That includes things like your squat, your bench press, and your deadlifts. Now we can't talk about working out without mentioning form. This is also very important. You want to practice good form so you avoid injuring yourself. Over time, you want to be progressing in reps and weight. Ideally, muscle growth or hypertrophy occurs in that 8 to 12 rep range. For example, let's say you're working back and you're doing lat pull downs with 50 pounds the first week. Your goal for the next week should be to increase that weight by 2.5 to 5 pounds. Once you're able to do that weight within that 8 to 12 rep range, you can go ahead and increase the weight. I know some people are going to laugh at the small increases, but this compounded over time is what will develop and build that body part. Your goal should be to get stronger, as this is what triggers muscle growth. Now something important to note is that you won't get stronger every week. There's some weeks where you'll plateau. It's a normal part of the process, so don't get discouraged. Along with having your training dialed in, you also need to make sure that your diet's in check. This means getting in the proper amount of calories based on your current lifestyle and needs. Now I know most of us work, so you want to take that into consideration when you're prepping your meals. Now obviously, if you're a construction worker, your needs are going to be very different compared to someone that's only working a desk job. Since you're burning more calories throughout the day, your diet will depend on your activity levels. Since we're interested in building muscle, it's important to understand that in order for that to happen, you need to be in a calorie surplus. That means eating more than your body needs to maintain its current weight. Now when building muscle, it's through your diet where you control how much of it will be fat gain. A good rule of thumb is eating between 300 to 500 calories of whatever your maintenance is. So if it takes 2,500 calories to maintain your current weight, you can start out around 2,800 to 3,000 calories and then make adjustments as needed. I know some people out there will ask, if I eat more, will I build more muscle? The answer is yes, up until a certain point. You don't want to overdo it by doing dirty bulks. I used to do this, and trust me, you're gonna regret it when it's time to get the weight off. Stick to the 300 to 500 calorie surplus and you'll see great results. 1 pound a week is a good goal as far as body weight increases go. You want to pay attention to not only the scale, but also your body fat. Remember how I said to avoid doing dirty bulks? Well, another reason is that your body fat can get out of control. Some people are comfortable getting up to 20% body fat, but I wouldn't go above that because you start heading into that unhealthy range. So it's important that once you get to your goal weight to prepare yourself, because you'll need to diet down to strip that fat and reveal the muscle you built. This is where staying in a slight surplus will have been beneficial, as you won't have a ton of fat to lose. The next thing that's important to note when trying to build muscle as a natural is recovery. Since we're in the gym putting in all this work and seeing this progress, I find that recovery is often neglected. A lot of time we can get carried away wanting to do more and forget about resting. I'm 100% guilty of this myself. I hate rest days, but I know it's important in order to see progress. So make sure to listen to your body. One of the things to understand is that as a natural lifter, we don't recover nearly as fast as compared to individuals on juice or steroids. So it's very important that we have time to rest and recover. Now, when I say rest days, I don't want you to think it's time where you just sit back and not do anything. A rest day simply involves you not training, but you can still do things such as go outdoors for a walk, biking, or even swimming. While we're here, a question I get quite often is, should I decrease my calories on rest days? And I always say no, keep your calories the same throughout the entire week. Now, the other part to recovery is sleep. I've been getting better with this myself. Sleep is actually the key to you making optimal muscle gains. I notice when I'm properly rested, I just feel better. I have more focus, brain fog disappears, and overall I just have more energy. Through sleep is when your body will actually recover from all the intense workouts we put it through. So aim to get around 7 to 8 hours of quality sleep if your schedule allows. Now, once you get to your goal physique, a common mistake people make is trying to stay too lean. I mean, I get it and completely understand. If you were once overweight, skinny fat, or simply just didn't like the way you looked, and you finally got into where you're comfortable, it can be difficult to even think about putting on weight, since that involves you gaining a little bit of fat. If you're trying to remain super lean, such as staying under 10% body fat, while attempting to gain muscle, then it'll be very difficult to continue seeing progress. Keep in mind, even maintaining those levels on its own can be very difficult. Once you factor in trying to build new muscle tissue, your body simply won't have the necessary nutrition in order to grow. Another thing is, your energy levels won't nearly be the same compared to when your body fat was a lot higher. Try to keep this in mind once you attain your desired body. Along the way, if you do everything right, you put yourself in the best possible scenario of building muscle. This compounded over the course of a few years can make a tremendous difference. When you're building muscle and seeing the scale increase, your strength is going up and your clothes are filling out, it's very important to make sure that you don't overdo it and end up in a perma bulk mode. If you want to find out exactly how to avoid that, be on the lookout for the next video to see how to lean bulk without getting fat. As always, thank you all so much for your support.